Hello, my friends. You guys hear me? Okay. People are still joining. I'm hoping there's not a link wrong somewhere because usually these free nights, there's like 100 people join. So we're gonna give it a minute or two. And we're actually gonna tweak the recipe because I think KJ messed something up. KJ made a practice run so I could have a spare cheesecakes, and they're in the oven not baking. I have mismeasured something in my recipe. So we're gonna pivot and make no bake cheesecakes with the same ingredients, slightly tweaked. Show you how I fix things when I screw them up, which I frequently do. So we're gonna give it a few minutes for some folks to join. Grab my apron. Where my drink is. Where did I put my drink, do you think? Are you taking notes for me tonight, Christy? Okay, cool. Cool beans. I need to get a drink real quick. We're gonna start probably about 5 after. We'll give some folks time to join because they're joining hot and heavy right now. Now I'm gonna grab a drink because all of a sudden I am absolutely parched. Oh, my light bulb just blew. That'll be fun to change. Can't hear anything, or oh my gosh, my volume is all the way down. I don't know if anybody has said anything, but my volume has been all the way down the whole time. I'm like, why is nobody talking? My computer, I'm so tech savvy. Oh my word.
The theme of the week. We're just gonna have tech issues.
It's been my theme for like, I don't know, 43 years. Well, give or take.
I'm like, that doesn't look like Scotty Bunches. No, it looks like a Christy Carpenter, the
Right.
imitation.
That's right. Imitation, not the real thing.
Like, wait, what am I looking at?
The fill-in, the backup. Scotty Bunch is the lesser. I don't know.
The lesser. We have so many. Now, I don't know about on this call, but in the free group this week, we have so many mamas that are brand new to THM that have never done THM. This way of eating is completely new to them. And I've had a lot of people ask me, KJ, how do I quit the soda addiction? That's my biggest struggle. To stay on plan is not drinking soda. Well, this is my go-to. This is seltzer. I have a Ninja Thirsty, but you can use just, this is just plain seltzer out of my Ninja Thirsty, but you can use bottled, canned, whatever. I pour ice in my cup, fill it up with plain seltzer, and then I don't even measure. I just pour some cherry hydrates in there, and then I let it sit. That's the key. The magic is you let it sit on top and you don't stir it. Okay, you don't stir it. Because if you do, it's gonna go foam up all over. You just wait and let it kind of sink down and then give it a little stir. This right here, I drink this all day long. This is totally broke my 12 can a day habit. And I'm running out of bubbles in my machine. My bubbles are weak.
I tried something new today. I took an orange hydrate and I put it over ice in my large cup, and I splashed a little bit of heavy cream in it, and I
Ooh,
stirred it up, and it was like an orange creamsicle.
I bet it was.
It was
Yum.
pretty good.
Yum. I used to love orange cream soda, or not cream soda, orange floats. You could do the same thing with seltzer water, and it would kind of taste like an orange float. Yeah, that sounds really good. I take lemon hydrates with me everywhere I go. And I add them. I get some places you can get seltzer water, but like Chick-fil-A, you can ask for just seltzer water and I'll put the orange in that. And it's like orange soda. But I do a lot of unsweetened iced tea. McDonald's, I don't know if it's everywhere or just south, if there's something about tea down here or what, but I'm telling you, the unsweetened iced tea at McDonald's down here is absolutely stinking-licious. I love it. I think I go to McDonald's more now than before I ate turn healthy, but it's just for the iced tea. It's the unsweetened iced tea. It's so good there. I don't know what it is.
Their iced coffee is really good too. If you order it with it is. I usually just get it with cream, and then I add stevia to it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, their iced coffee is really good.
KJ, do the crust for these need to bake?
Well, the whole recipe needs to bake.
Oh, okay.
But I'm debating as people join. I'm going to give it just one more minute because people are still trying to get in. As people join, I'm going to explain and ask y'all what you think. I have made this recipe twice now and had it come out beautifully. This time, it has come out much wetter than before. And I don't know if I dictated the instructions wrong, which is a high possibility because it's what I do. Or if it's because my yogurt is more wet or what. So it's been in there 30 minutes. It's supposed to bake 20 to 25, and usually 20 to 25, we're all good. It's perfectly fine. This time they're still soupy. Now I just looked in there a second ago and they look like they're finally pulling together. However, I'm thinking that we should pivot and make these as a no bake recipe. That way we don't have to heat up our house for very long in the heat. We can bake the crust, or you can have it unbaked. I've made unbaked almond flour crust a million times and it's delicious. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of pivot and do an unbaked version, a no bake version. I'll give you the instructions. If you choose to bake it, you can give it a go. I'm going to look at these in just a minute, but I also know it's like 978 degrees everywhere south of like Canada today.
I was gonna say it's hot here.
I know y'all are under
That's why I was asking. I want to heat my kitchen, have AC.
yeah. So when I've made no bake cheesecakes in the past, I have often done an unbaked crust. I love it. Lots of people love it. Some people are like, I don't like uncooked almond flour. I think it's fine. We pack it in nice and tight. It goes in the fridge. It tastes delicious. So I think that's what we're going to do, but I'm going to give the option. I will probably bake my crust just as an an example to y'all of what I'm gonna do, and then we'll do a no bake version of cheesecake. No bake's always easy. Everybody likes no bake recipes. Nobody actually likes to cook. Just kidding, I do. All right, my friends, let me go ahead and pin myself here. So I'm up on screen. Nope, wrong one. Remove pin. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to hit spotlight. Spotlight, especially since my kitchen light just went out. And my light that I use to hold my phone and brighten up my kitchen got blown off the end of the trigger this week and shattered into like 1,800 pieces. So now I have no phone holder. So the angle of my counter, I usually have my camera pointing down at my hands. Today it's just going to be my waist because, you know, it is what it is. I have broken supplies. I guess I better have a backup camera set up from now on. All right, I got to find my other video here and spotlight it so that you can see my counter as well. I can find me. There I am. Spotlight. All right. All right, so if you're new to these cooking classes, what usually takes place and what will take place tonight is Coach Christy. It's usually Coach Scotty Bunches, but she's not here tonight. So Coach Christy is going to jump in and do this. As I do each step, she will type it into the chat. So if you find yourself like totally lost, unable to keep up, whatever, just look at the chat. The last thing that I did should be right in there. If you can't find the chat, if you're like, KJ, I'm not tech savvy like you. That was a joke. I hope you all caught on to that really, really bad joke. If you struggle with it and you're like, I can't find it, KJ, I can't find it. Don't worry. Just come off mute and say, hey, KJ, I have a question. I'll answer your question. And then we will put you back on mute just to keep the background noise down as we cook together. So I'm going to grab real quickly the mini cheesecakes that I just baked out of the oven and show you what they look like if they're baked. And everybody cross your fingers that they actually cooked through. They are just not cooking the way they normally do. And I don't know if I messed up my instructions or what I did, but I've done these twice. This is what they look like, but they're very wet.
Humidity.
I've never had this happen, but it is significantly hot. I've made these at Christmas time. So who knows? So let me take these out of this pan real quick. You are going to want to use a cupcake pan for this, but you absolutely can use a mini for this. Christy, I'm going to make you host so you can let people in. If I can find you.
I'm Scotty Bunches, imitation, not the real thing.
Imitation, not the real thing. There you go. Make host. You are now the host.
Hey, KJ,
Yes.
if I want to bake mine, what temperature am I putting my oven on?
350, but I'm not sure that I would advise it.
Well, I want to bake my crust. Let me put it that way.
Okay, yeah. Look, I can't even get these out, you guys. Look at the liquid. I've never had this happen to my cheesecakes before. They're like, oop, well, there's that recipe. Let me just get a trash bag for those. Where am I going to put these things?
I'd let them set. Just let them sit out.
I don't think they're like curdly. They're very different than the last time I made them. I don't think they're any good. I don't know what I did. I cannot imagine what I did. My proportions are off or something. So they're going to go in this bowl. They are slop. There we go. That's that right there. If you could see this. This is how you do. See, can I get this from over here? That's how you do a cooking class. Right there. My cheesecakes in a pile. Oh, well, you know, here's the thing about cooking. It's healthy. There are times when things do not come out as planned. And I guess really, ultimately, that's no different. And hey, Christy, can you mute everyone for me? Except for me. Well, you can mute everyone and then I'll unmute myself.
Maybe. Hold on.
You click on participants There should be a mute all at the bottom.
Got it.
Okay. There are going to be times when recipes fail, right? Even recipes that we've made before and had come out beautifully. I made, for many of you watched this morning as I made mayonnaise live, and it came out absolutely perfect on the first try. Somebody tried making it, somebody else, I won't say who, Cindy Wetzel, tried making it, completely bombed. It turned to liquid. She did it exactly the same way I did it. It's just the reality of recipes and cooking, right? Sometimes things don't come out perfectly, and that's okay. So now we know. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put little paper muffin cupcake liner things in our muffin pan, 12 cup muffin pan. This makes 12. You could easily make these mini if you wanted, little bite-sized cheesecakes. But because these are no bake, and no bakes don't come out like typical no bake cheesecake, you don't end up taking it out of your muffin tin. You eat it, you know, with a spoon right out of your little muffin cup. You don't, it might be kind of hard to do it with the minis, but you totally could. You totally could. So we're gonna make a crust to go in the bottom. You have the option to bake this crust or not. So if it's 978 degrees where you are, then if you're living on the equator, then don't stress. You don't have to bake these. We are going to use, where did my recipe go? My camera just went off here. Hold on. Get my recipe back up. All right. Oh my word. I'm telling you what, I have had about as much technology as I can handle this week. I never have this many issues. Half a cup of almond flour. You absolutely can use baking blend. I had a couple people ask me, can I use baking blend? Yeah, you can, girl. Go for it. If you prefer baking blend, absolutely, you can use baking blend. To that, we are going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. My butter is in a giant brick and it's frozen. So melt your butter in the microwave for a few seconds and add that to your almond flour. Little sample. If you want to bake these, put your oven up to 350. If you want to bake your crust, put your oven up to 350. These are going to be yummy little desserts that you can have for brekkie if you want. And you even could add some, because we are doing a no bake version, you could actually add some whey protein to these if you wanted some optimized whey, like some strawberry or some chocolate. You'd totally be able to do that if you want and make these protein packed. So we're adding 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And then to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of gentle sweet. You could use a teaspoon of super sweet if you didn't have gentle sweet. You could use a tablespoon of allulose, a tablespoon of monk fruit, a tablespoon of erythritol. You just pick a sweetener that you like and stick it in there. I don't get very particular. If I'm looking at a recipe, things like cakes that I bake, I'm more particular about my sweeteners just because of the scientific piece behind it. You want it to come together right, not be too wet, not be too dry. You want your measurements right. But when it comes to things like this type of dessert, a no-bake cheesecake, a crust like this, I wing it all the time, all the time. So just give that a mix and you'll also want to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla. That's totally optional. If you don't want to put it in your crust, you don't have to. And this is is a perfect little no-bake crust. You can take this and divide it evenly between all your muffin cups and then pack it down. If you're going to bake it, you're going to bake it on 350 for about 5 minutes. It's about, I measured it out the first time I did this and I just evenly divide it, but it's about 1.5 teaspoons of this per cup is what it comes out to. You just evenly divide it. And if it's not perfectly even, it don't matter. If you've got some crusts that are a little thicker than others, it don't matter. It don't matter. Don't get too wrapped up in the details. That's when cooking's no fun. When we get so wrapped up in the details that we make it no fun, don't stress. Just pack it in there, bake it for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to want to let it cool. If you bake these, you're going to want to let it cool before you put your topping in. So I said I was going to bake mine, but I actually think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to leave mine this way. I like the way it tastes this way. You can use a little spoon. My fingers are all slippy. You can use a spoon to pack that in there, or just your fingers. Just give it a little pack. I'm gonna shut my oven off. I changed my mind. I'm gonna have unbaked crust. I like them that way, and that's how I'm gonna do it. But if you do want to bake them, 350 for 5 minutes, let them completely cool. One thing that tends to happen with almond flour crusts when you bake them, they release some of their oils, and sometimes after you bake them, especially depending on your almond flour, sometimes almond flour is really dry and other times is really oily. It just depends on a lot of different things, the age of your almond flour, the source of your almond flour. So if you bake these and you're like, KJ, there's oil sitting on top of my crust, just take a paper towel, blot it off, and let them cool. Give me just a second, please. What can I get? Nope, hold on. Sorry. Wilson wanting to stay off camera.
KJ, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You know the dream cake, the one with the cottage cheese, and you know the bottom of that, how it's the cookie crust?
Uh-huh.
Could you do that with these too?
Yeah, absolutely. The THM cookie crust?
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% you could do that.
Okay.
Really good. All right, once you get those packed in there, just put them in the oven for 5 minutes if you're going to bake them, or just set them aside. Easy peasy. Somebody said they want the recipe for the dream cake. It's on my website. If you go to my website, joyfullifewithkj.com, click on recipes, desserts and sweet treats. It's right there. I think it's called strawberry dream cake. It's Crystal's recipe and it's really, really good. All right, we ready to move on to the filling, or are we still working on crust? Because I can wait a couple of minutes. Okay. This is so simple, you guys. A no-bake cheesecake is literally the world's easiest dessert you can ever make in your life. We're gonna do 1 brick of cream cheese. This is gonna be lighter because we're not loading it with tons and tons of cream cheese. A lot of no-bake recipes use 2 or 3. You're still working, Ivy? I'll give you a few minutes. We got plenty of time because this goes real quick. We'll give you a couple minutes to do what you're doing, and I will clean up my mess real quick. This is hilarious. This sink full of underbaked cheesecakes. You know what I think I did with this recipe? I think it just hit me. I know exactly what I did with this recipe. Every time I've made this recipe in the past, I have used full fat sour cream. And I swapped it out for 0% Greek yogurt, assuming it wasn't going to make a difference in the thing, and it's too watery. My yogurt is too watery. That is exactly what happened. Well, now we know it's not a good swap. It's a good swap in a lot of things, but it ain't a good swap in no bake cheesecakes. I bet Mary Malone would have said, I could have told you that. I bet she says it. Mary knew. I can feel it.
No, Mary Malone was clueless this time.
Well, now we know. Don't be swapping sour cream, full fat sour cream. Maybe if I had done full fat yogurt, it might have worked. But apparently, full fat sour cream cannot be swapped in cheesecake for Greek yogurt. Who'd have thunk it? And now we know. All right. So to our bowl, we're going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm using the and that's what I put on the thing to order or to get at the grocery store is the 1/3 fat cream cheese, just to lighten these up. Anytime we can swap out for just a little lighter, it's just going to mean they're even better for you. These 1/3 fat cream cheese is, I rarely ever buy full fat cream cheese anymore. 1/3 fat cream cheese, legit, in any recipe that I've made, tastes the same. The only time that I ever notice a difference with cream cheese being less fat is if I were to put it on like a keto bagel or on toast or something like that. Then I can tell like it's a little more tangy, a little more zingy. But in any recipe, any frosting, anything, 1/3 fat works beautifully. To that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of gentle sweet. This one, you'll want a powdered sweetener. Go ahead, honey. You'll want a powdered sweetener. If you use something granulated like super sweet, it will feel gritty in your teeth. So if you have a real thick a real granulated sweetener like super sweet, you can always grind it down. It will still taste good in your cheesecake, but it will feel a little, the grit will be in your teeth, the crunch, I guess, the crystallization. So to the cream cheese, we're adding a 1/4 cup of gentle sweet, and then we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And you can totally get creative with your no-bake cheesecakes. We're doing red, white, and blueberry, so we're going to do strawberry flavored. But if you wanted to do chocolate chip no-bake cheesecakes, leave the blueberries or the strawberries and blueberries out. Add in some chocolate chips and replace that extract. You could replace it with caramel. You could replace it with hazelnut, anything you want. You can totally get creative with no-bake cheesecakes. All right, so we had said 6 ounces of Greek yogurt, but I'm going to cut that in half. I'm going to cut that down. So 3 ounces, which would be about, let's see, math. 3 is about 1/5. No, not 3 ounces. Hold on, 4 ounces. So we're going to do, oh my word, math. We're going to do a 1/4 cup, a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. Since it's no bake, we're going to do a little bit less. The egg whites that this recipe called for, we're leaving them out completely in the no bake. We're not going to put them in at all.
But if we want to cook them.
If you want to bake them, I would do sour cream if you have it.
How much
do.
sour cream would we use?
I have down 6 ounces is what I've always used in the past.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of almond flour, or you can use baking blend, or you could use coconut flour. Just helps thicken it a little, bind it together a little bit. Hey, buddy. If you are doing the baked version, the 2 egg whites, you could even do a whole egg too. That might help thicken it up even a little bit more. All right, that's the mix. We are going to whip that up with a hand mixer. Betsy, peek right in the chat and all the instructions should be there, but if I can walk through it real quick. It's 8 ounces of cream cheese. This is what's going to go in your bowl. 8 ounces of cream cheese, a 1/4 cup of gentle sweet. And again, this is all in the chat too, so you guys can see it. A teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, and a tablespoon of some sort of flour, almond flour, coconut flour, baking blend. And then we're just going to whip it up. Just give it a good whip. Whip it and whip it good. Ooh, don't be on too high. Just get it light and fluffy. If your cream cheese, if you got full fat or whatever, and if it's too thick, if your Greek yogurt is really, really thick, you can add like a tablespoon of whipping cream if you find it too thick, or even a tablespoon of almond milk.
KJ,
Yeah.
Kylie literally said, whip it good. And then you said it. We both just started cracking up. It was hilarious.
We think alike. Great minds.
Do we add the egg whites to it?
No, if you're not baking these, leave the egg whites completely out. I would
But if-
recommend going unbaked.
Okay. If we do bake it though, add
Yeah.
it?
Yep. Put
Thank
the egg.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just worried somebody's going to have a soupy mess if they bake it. If you bake it, that's okay, but fair warning. Hope you don't have a soupy mess. Because I clearly screwed something up more, I just hope it's just the sour cream. I've never had that happen. I've made them so many times. All right. That's whipped nice and good. One way that if you make this and you're like, but I want thicker cheesecakes, KJ, I want more filling in this no bake cheesecake. One thing you can do, you can leave it just like this, or you can add about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream to this, or whipping cream, and then whip it really, really well. So the whipped cream bulks up, and you're just going to extend this, and it will be a lighter cheese flavor. Some people like really dense cheesecake, and some people like the really light and fluffy cheesecake. This is totally customizable that way. Give it a little taste. Make sure it's got the right amount of sweetener in it for your liking. Yeah, you don't need to add it. Tastes good to me. And then we're going to add our fruit. In this, we're just going to dice up 8 ounces of strawberries, which is, what is this? This is a 16-ounce container, right? Yeah. Half of one of these things. I already cleaned my berries. Yeah, right. I just like to say that and pretend that I have my act together. I don't clean my berries. I know I should. Somebody probably pooped on them in a field. I need a plate. All right. Dice your strawberries into little tiny pieces. Diced. And just fold them into your cheesecake mixture and put them in your pan. That's the whole last step. The blueberries, I always just top mine with the blueberries, but if you want to slowly, I don't know why I said slowly. I saw something come up on the screen and the word slowly went into my head. I saw Christy over there making a comment about ignoring KJ. If you want your blueberries inside your cheesecakes, feel free to do that. You absolutely can. I prefer to have just the strawberries in mine and then the blueberries on top. It's just my favorite way to make these. And I like to have my strawberries little tiny pieces. So quiet. Because everybody's on mute and I'm not talking. I'm thinking about something and then all of a sudden I'll be like, wait a minute, I'm on a class. I should talk to these people. I'm just over here thinking about all the things I have to do the rest of this week. All right. Pour your strawberries into your cheesecake filling. If you are using frozen strawberries, I would pat them. Somebody asked me if they could use frozen, and you can, but they're gonna be a little wet. So just pat them really dry. That's all you gotta do. Just make sure they're a little dry. I'm just gonna fold them in. Whoop. Oh, you missed it, Sebastian. Honestly, I'm kind of glad for this mishap because I really actually think I prefer no bake cheesecakes over regular ones. I think they're my fave. The no bake kind.
I agree.
Yeah, they're just delicious. And I just rubbed strawberries all through my hair. This is a great, remember how I said if you wanted to add a quarter or half a cup of whipped cream to this and then whip it, you could whip it separately, or you could just put it in here and whip it really, really hard until it gets light and fluffy. Just by itself like this makes a great thing to take to a picnic, a potluck, stuff like that. People love it. It's cheesecake fluff. You call it cheesecake fluff and they'll think, you know, oh, she put all the effort into cheesecake. Really, you just whip some cream cheese together. All right. If you baked your crusts, you want to make sure they're completely cool before you put your filling in. But then just equally divide your filling among all the cups. It's about, I would say it's a little over half full that you're going to do these cups. You can start at half full and go back and add extra to each cup if you still have some left over, but it's usually about half full.
I think this is a 2-ounce cookie scoop. That's what I used and it was perfect.
There you go. That's a great way to do it. That's a perfect idea. And that filled all 12?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. These are a
Are we
fun, go ahead.
are we mixing the berries into the cream cheese before we put them in the cup?
Yes. Yep.
So the strawberries and blueberries together.
Just the strawberries. You can do the blueberries too, but I said I just prefer the strawberries in the cheesecake mixture. And then
Okay.
I top mine with the blueberries, but you can do both. However you think you'd prefer it. I just kind of like my blueberries on the top and my strawberries in the middle. It's just a personal preference. I kind of want to just dig into that bowl and lick it clean. This gave me 12 perfect size. Well, that one is a little skimpy. All right, and then once you have your little cheesecakes built, just go ahead and top them with some obviously freshly washed blueberries. These are fun for a picnic too. People love them, even because there's not a ton of sweetener in here. Most people won't even know that it's healthy sweetener. They're not gonna know. But then again, if they're not on a healthy eating plan, I don't really want to share my healthy food with them anyway. Don't be eating my healthy cheesecake and then stuffing your face with regular sugar. Save me the healthy stuff. Isn't that awful? I'm selfish. I'm gonna top each one with some blueberries. And pop those babies in the fridge because no bake cheesecake tastes a million times better ice cold. It's just really good ice cold. That's the whole thing right there. They cute.
Jay?
Thanks,
We
yeah.
have a question in the chat. If you're going to bake it, how long do you want them to bake it for?
So I typically bake them 20 to 25 minutes. You want them so they're just tiny bit jiggly. Like you don't want to open the pull out the pan and have them really jiggly. If they're really jiggly, that's a hard word to say, then they're not cooked yet. When I just tried it in this oven, it was 30 minutes. When I took them out, they were starting to firm up, but mine were never going to firm up. So start at 25 minutes, check it, and they should just be a tiny bit jiggly in the middle, and then they need to cool completely. All right, these firm up a little bit in the fridge. And of course they taste much better cold, but we have to give them, but look at them. Look at these cute little cheesecakes. Aren't they cute? Have to give it a little go. They hold together perfect with that crust. They're good. Yep. Yeah, I prefer no bake cheesecake anyway. Look at that. Those are good. Those are delicious. If you wanted to protein pack these so that you could have like 3 for breakfast and have them be a full meal, I would add in this entire recipe, I would add a cup of optimized either plant protein, which you're going to taste a little if you're not used to a plant protein, you are going to taste plant protein a little. But you could do the vanilla or the strawberry optimized whey. Just whip that in. It's very unlikely that you're going to need much more liquid. If you do, add a teaspoon or so of milk, almond milk. But that would protein pack these. If you had a half a cup in all of this, you would have 96 bioequivalent grams of protein in the whole pan. What's 96 divided by 12? 8, right? Yeah. 8 times. I don't do math. I think it's 8. That would mean each one of these cheesecakes would have 8 grams of protein just from the whey protein, not even counting the protein that's in your Greek yogurt and your cream cheese. So you're probably looking at 10 grams of protein per cheesecake. 3 of them for breakfast would give you 30 grams of protein. That's a total win. And they'd be delicious. I didn't add that to this recipe this time because I know there's a lot of mamas who have joined this week that haven't even ever heard of Trim Healthy, so let alone know what an optimized whey protein from Trim Healthy is all about. So there you go, mini cheesecake, so easy. Again, yeah, you go girl, you lick those beaters. That's what I would be doing too if I didn't just throw them in the sink. She's my kind of girl. She is my kind of girl over there. These desserts like this, THM desserts, if you are new to eating healthy, desserts like this are the way to go because these are so easy to acclimate to. Cakes, things like cakes. If you've never lived a low glycemic lifestyle, if you've never lived sugar-free and low, naturally low gluten, the first time you make a dessert on THM, if you go straight for the cake, you're probably going to take a bite and go, what on earth is this? The texture's weird. It doesn't taste sweet. It doesn't taste like good cake. Now, eat healthy for 3 months and go back and make that same cake, and you're going to say, wow, this is delicious. It takes time to acclimate your body to stevia, to erythritol. It's not sugar. It has a different flavor. After a while, it tastes like, for me, having been away from sugar for so long, I can guarantee you if I put something with real sugar in my mouth, it would be so sweet and probably taste almost chemically because I am so acclimated to these type of sweeteners. Now I can make any cake, any dessert and think it's nice and sweet. Now my mother, she's been on plan almost as long as I have. But she doesn't eat a lot of sweets. She just doesn't, it's just her that's eating it and she doesn't eat a lot of sweets. So when I make a sweet for her, a lot of times she's like, I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it because she doesn't eat a lot of the sweeteners. Healthy sweeteners take adjustments. So don't be hard on yourself. If you make a recipe and you just don't like it, sometimes it takes time to acclimate your body to healthy cooking and healthy eating. But be patient with yourself. You will get to the point where you are just drooling over cake made with weird things. Trust me. You'll be wanting cake made out of zucchini and all these other crazy things. You'll be like, do my brownies have okra? They do, and I love them.
KJ,
AJ,
Yes.
Betsy's got her hand up. Can you?
Yes. Hey, Betsy.
Hey, I actually have a few questions.
Yeah.
So tell me if it's sorry, my hair is crazy.
Hmm.
Is there a difference between pristine whey and optimized whey? There is, because there's been a bunch of new stuff that came out since I bought last. So can I add the pristine? Or
Yes,
is it going to be a weird texture or?
no, it's not going to be weird texture at all. It's just not going to be as high of protein. So
Okay.
have you heard about the essentials?
Yeah, your mom told me about them and I bought them and I have not used them. They're still sitting in the little bag.
Oh, okay.
Sealed shut.
They do a lot of good in the cupboard, right? I always
Yeah,
say,
I don't know what to do with it.
The essentials are helping me. I haven't opened the bag, but they're there. You can add regular whey protein. It's not going to be any different of a texture.
Okay.
The difference is optimized whey protein has the essentials added. So it's or similar to the essentials. It has amino acids added. So a typical serving of whey protein, I think it has 16 grams of protein, where the optimized whey, because of the essential amino acids that have been added, has the bioequivalency of 48 grams. So
Okay.
yeah, you can totally add it. It'll just be less protein. I have a big bag of vanilla and a big bag of chocolate that I'm still working through.
Okay.
I kind of go back and forth between my optimized and my old stuff.
So just still use a cup of it.
In this whole
For-
recipe,
yes.
a half a cup.
Half. Okay. All right. And what did you say if you wanted to use the whipping cream?
I would do a quarter cup. I would just,
Okay.
you could whip it separately into whipped cream, or you could just pour it right. I've poured it right in the bowl before when I do no bake cheesecakes, and then just whip it for a while until it turns to whipped cream. You know, it'll start to get thicker and light and fluffy.
Okay. Thank you. And
Stretch it out a little. And that's probably a really good idea if you're adding a whey protein that's sweetened, because it's just gonna, you know, spread that sweetener out a little more.
okay. And what's your opinion on Swerve? Just as a product in general. I know Gentle Sweet is better, but like, what do you?
So one of the Swerves, I believe, I could be wrong, but one of the products they have changed ingredients and has sucralose in it now, is my understanding. Just looking for ingredients. If the ingredients are just erythritol and stevia or monk fruit and stevia, as long as it doesn't have tapioca starch or sucralose, then you're all good. It's fine. I have some Swerve. This one is the one I have right now. The Swerve confectioner.
Okay.
And I haven't opened it because it has tapioca starch in it. I'm waiting to find somebody to give it to that's not a THMer, but would like to use it.
Okay.
So I bought, you just want to pay attention, because tapioca starch is high glycemic. And even though this has 0 net carbs, it's just not something I want.
Okay.
So.
And my last question, and maybe you've already have this on the Facebook page or something, but you know, the bioavailable protein, like how do we, can you explain that quickly, or?
Yeah, no, I totally can. So I want you to think about taking a piece of steak. When you eat a piece of steak, you chew it up and it goes into your gut, and your gut says, okay, here's this nutrient, here's that nutrient, here's the amino acids. I'm going to put the amino acids straight into our muscles. The amino acids go right into your muscles. Every part of our body uses a different type of fuel, and our muscles use essential amino acids. So when you eat that steak, it breaks it down into all its different parts and feeds your muscles the amino acids. But it has to go through the digestion process first. Your body has to digest it, metabolize it, all that stuff. If you have gut issues, a not super healthy gut, maybe it takes longer to digest. Maybe you don't get as much straight amino acids out of it. Essential amino acids, when you take those, as soon as it's absorbed into your body, it goes straight to your muscles for fuel, because all it is the amino acids piece of the protein. It's not a meal protein. It can be your protein for a meal on occasion. It's not meant to be a meal replacement protein all the time. It's a boost of amino acids, fuel straight for your muscles. So it doesn't go anywhere else in your body. It goes straight to your muscles. So because it goes straight to your muscles and is absorbed so well, it's a small portion, gives you a ton of protein, where you'd need a huge steak to get the same amount of amino acids, or a huge piece of chicken or a huge piece of any protein to get the same amount of amino acids that you get from this tablespoon of powder. It's very highly concentrated and it goes straight to your muscles. And that's why it's best to use it after exercise. I mean, you can use it before or after exercise. You can use it as a sipper and it's okay. The best time to use it is right before or right after your exercise, because it goes into your muscles even quicker, and your muscles are just starving for fuel after exercise. And so it just feeds your muscles really, really well and helps you build lean muscle. Does that help?
Yes. So, and with our food that we eat, like if we're saying you're getting a keto think bar or something, so is that kind of protein not as bioavailable? Is it more like God's protein, like meat or animal products that are more?
Anytime you can eat animal products for your protein, that's ultimately that's your best, healthiest sorts of protein, because you're not just getting amino acids from it. The amino acids help protect your muscles from lean muscle loss. It helps build your muscles. So it's always good to get your meal protein. And that's why amino acids aren't intended to be a meal replacement, because you still need all the other things that come from your meal. So you have a think keto bar and say it's got 20 or 25 grams of protein. That's really all you need for a meal. You're fine. But if you're working out, having the amino acids is just an increased protein. It helps you bulk up your protein. A lot of people have trouble getting in enough protein to really give them everything they need. But the amino acids helps with that. It gives them that extra boost that they might be missing, because a lot of people struggle to get their protein in. But if you can get your protein all through chicken breast, that's great. That's great. And Pearl has said before, you don't need to have chicken for dinner and amino acids. You don't need to. You've got what you need out of your meal. But especially for people working out, if they can drink it before or after their workout, it's just really going to play a big role in maintaining that lean muscle mass. Does that help? I drink it as a daily supplement. That's how I get my amino acids in. If the optimized way and stuff like that, because I'm on a GLP-1 and sometimes it's harder for me to eat than other times, I will have like a chocolate milk with optimized whey, because it's got all that extra protein that I might not be able to eat in the moment. Like for example, I just had one of those cheesecakes, and honestly, I'm good. I'm full. Now, is that a meal? No, that is not enough meal for me. It's not enough protein. It's not enough. So I will have, when I get done this, a glass of chocolate milk with the amino acids to bulk up my protein, because I didn't get enough through my meal. Amino acids can be used the same way. The essential amino acids can be used the same way to kind of top off your meal. Like you're sitting down to a piece of chicken and you know you're only going to get 18 grams, but you really don't have any other chicken. That's your only source of protein and you've only got 18 grams or whatever, and you want to bulk it up a little, you can add a little amino acids. It just gives you that extra boost. It's good supplementation. Help?
I added peanut flour and made mine peanut butter and took out the blueberries.
Stop. Strawberry peanut butter? Like peanut
Yes,
butter and
ma'am.
jelly?
And then I put some dark chocolate.
Are you
on
trying
top.
to steal my job?
I like peanut butter.
I do too. Why didn't I think of that? PB&J cheesecakes. That sounds amazing. Good job. Well, you guys, it's been a lot of fun. I love if you would take a picture of your creations and post them in our free group. And if you're part of coaching, in the coaching group, and comment hashtag cooking with KJ. I love to come steal your photos and share them with people. You can take a selfie with it, or you can just take a picture of your food. It doesn't matter to me, whatever, but I'll come steal your picture so I can share with people. I'm also going to share this picture of the pile that's in my sink that I messed up the recipe on. And I hope whoever baked their cheesecakes that they come out okay. And if they didn't, I'm really sorry. I owe you.
I baked mine, but I think it's gonna be terrible. It looks soupy. But I'll take
If they don't
and
turn
tag
out,
you.
yeah, don't use the hashtag. Use hashtag cooking with
Nailed
Scotty's
it.
bunches.
There you go.
Hashtag cooking with Scotty Bunches.
There you go.
Because she's not here. So, you know.
I have to have missed when I gave Cindy the instructions. I know the sour cream thing, but I had to have missed another ingredient because I've always made these out of my head, but clearly there's too much in my head because I can't get out what was in it. There is something missing, obviously, from the recipe, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what I did. So I'm glad we were able to pivot and do no bakes. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends. It's been a
Did
lot of
they need
fun.
lemon juice?
Did
Did
what?
they need lemon juice in the cheesecake?
I don't put lemon juice in mine. I don't typically do that. Some people do put lemon juice in their cheesecake. I've never been a fan of it. I've always left it out. All right, my friends. I hope you've had fun cooking tonight. I love getting to hang out with you guys. If you didn't see, there is a bonus Zoom, just like last night's Zoom. We're doing a Zoom Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Because I had tech issues the first time, I want everybody to have an opportunity. And I know some people gave up trying to log in after 8 o'clock when they couldn't get on. This time people will be able to get on. So we're going to have another Zoom. If you already came on Monday, that's okay. You can still come. There's plenty of room in the Zoom this time. I promise. I've confirmed it. So feel free to come on Thursday night, and I hope to see you there. I hope you're having a fun week. Make sure you check in on your Marco Polo, even if you think it's weird. Do it anyway. Get outside of your comfort zone and do the hard. That's why you're in coaching. Did you think you were going to come to coaching for me to say, oh, just do the way you've always done. It'll be fine. That's not what we do here. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Have an amazing night, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.